Years, our friend, un honorario Latino, Timothy Michael Kaine. Bienvenidos a todos y buena noche. What a great evento. What a great celebración de estos grupos. Primera vez, más felicitaciones a los grupos que han recibido estos regalos por sus esfuerzos en trabajando con votantes. Un otro tipo de aplauso. And I want to thank Walter for calling me an honorario Latino, a Latino honorario. I'm not sure that's true. One of the first events that Walter and I did after we got to know each other, when I was running for lieutenant governor, he had an event that was down in Fairfax, kind of down in the Springfield area, where we had salsa dancing. And after he saw me dance, he took back the Latino honorario, and I just became amigo de Latinos. No Latino honorario, amigo de Latinos. But it really is good to be here. And I'll just say, two words as I stand here with the board members of the Latino Leaders Council and with so many friends. This event is a lot of fun, and it's deadly serious. It's a lot of fun, and it is deadly serious. On the fun side, it is fun to stand here with so many old friends and reconnect with the great leaders of our Latino community from all around the state, to feel a sense of pride, because I do feel like I've tried very hard in my time in public life to encourage wonderful Latino leaders and make them part of my administration, make them part of my staff. I've got two folks here tonight that are part of my team that I just want to make sure you know. Corinne Charles Dongo. Corinne is my deputy political director and just does a superb job. I think many people here have worked with Corinne for a long time. And then this is a civic engagement event, not a political event, but just I value strong Latino leadership. And the leader of my financial operation as a candidate is Dario Marquez. And Dario is here and does a superb job. And this is a national leadership position all around the country, and Dario has done such a great work. But I see, folks like Doug Garcia, who I hired right out of JMU, who then worked with me as an assistant secretary of education and has now gone on to do so many wonderful things. Or Maribel Ramos, who worked with Governor Warner, then Governor Kaine, then Senator Webb, then Senator Kaine, then Governor McAuliffe. And just watching her, achieve such heights, and I could go through so many others, Andres and Lenny. I'm so proud of all Walter has done. I'm so proud of Alfonso Lopez, who I brought into my cabinet, and then he became now sadly the sole, now this can't last for long, but the sole Latino member of the General Assembly. Alfonso, Cindy Benavides, who has done such a wonderful job. So I see old friends, but also you come to an event like this and you hope it's not just old friends, right? You hope that you're meeting new, young, dynamic people who are doing cool things you didn't know about. And just in the 5 minutes between the door and arriving up here, as I was taking, fotitos con gente, to meet the folks from Voces Verdes, the group that is working on organizing in the Latino community around issues of climate change and the environment. Now, so this is a new group to me, and a group I want to know more about. So the thing that's fun about this event is we're celebrating these award winners, and we're acknowledging friendships of many years, and we're acknowledging new leaders and los jóvenes también, and that's great. But it's deadly serious because the stakes are high. The stakes are high in 2015 with this election on November the 3rd. The stakes are high in 2016 in a battleground state, Virginia. The stakes are high because you're working on issues every day that are kind of life and death issues for the folks that you work with. I mean, the organizations that were represented here, it's about voting, it's about immigrants' rights, it's about tenant and fairness to tenants and workers. These are life and death issues that you're working on. And so it's good to celebrar, to get some entusiasmo por el trabajo, pero hay mucho trabajo, hay mucho que hacer para nosotros. Y especialmente aquí, porque en Virginia ahorita estamos un battleground state, ¿verdad? And many political opinion folks say that Virginia, of the 50 states, is the best measure of the American electorate. Just to dig into that for a minute. Our statistics of who's a Democrat, who's a Republican, who's an independent, close match for the national electorate. Our statistics, urban, rural, suburban, close match for the national electorate. President Obama won Virginia in 2008 and 2012, and his win margin, if you look at his win margin in Virginia in the popular vote, and then you look at his win margin nationally in the popular vote, what you will see is there's not a state that was a closer match for the national margin than Virginia. También estamos muy cerca de Washington, so a lot of the periodistas and others who are writing about political trends, they see Virginia up close, and they often will use us as kind of an exhibit A for political trends because we are so now close. So what we do here in Virginia has an importance, obviously, to those of us from the Commonwealth, but it has a little bit of an outsized importance, for good or ill, por bueno o malo. ¿Qué podemos hacer aquí? Es un gran ejemplo para otros. Now, we're in a political season where you see a lot of things that we like, and frankly, you see a lot of things that we don't like. You see a lot of palabras that are palabras of encouragement and entusiasmo, pero también palabras de mal voluntad, especialmente sobre el asunto de inmigración. In this presidential campaign that's gearing up, we've seen a lot of sentiments expressed that frankly kind of shock me. I mean, I guess it's better that they're expressed than they're just held within, because at least we can know what we're dealing with. But you see a lot of words and sentiments expressed about new Americans, no solo Latinos, pero new Americans de cualquier país, that really are a little shocking in a nation of immigrants. And so whether it's the reform of the immigration system, which many of you have worked on for decades and decades, but even in 3 years in the Senate, I've worked on it like I'm banging my head against a wall, or whether it's investments in education, or the climate for small businesses, or the healthcare system we have, or the rights of workers. We've got great folks here from labor that I met coming in. These are just really big and important issues. And in Virginia, this Leaders' Council is coming in at a time when we are among the most watched, if not the most watched state politically. Tiene un poder muy fuerte. Y es importante que ustedes entiendan ese poder muy fuerte. Why do I say that? Well, you went through the election, so you went through that very close race for Mark Herring, a couple hundred votes. We all remember our Attorney General candidate, Creed Eads, a few years ago, losing by a couple hundred votes. We remember a senator, Jim Webb, when he won in 2006, won by a few thousand votes. I could go election by election. I could talk about Republicans who won races and Democrats who won races all over the state by a couple hundred votes, by a couple thousand votes. You know, solo in supervisor races or in delegate races, but in statewide races. A couple hundred votes, maybe a couple thousand votes. Folks, there are 270,000 Latino voters in Virginia who can vote. Now, not all do, right? Not all do, but there are 270,000 who can. En cada elección en Virginia, el pueblo latino puede hacer la diferencia. La diferencia entre el ganador y el candidato que perder la elección. Cada elección. This is not the Latino vote is powerful every once in a while. The Latino vote matters in this election, in one region of the state. In every election in this state, especially in every statewide election, it's the Latino vote that determines the outcome. And so that is something really powerful, very powerful. And so I think part of what we have to do, and I think there's a lot of voters, Latino voters, who they don't think of the power of the Latino vote that way, because maybe it wasn't that way 10 years ago or 15 years ago. But believe me, it's that way now. And I think when people understand not only that the issues are important, but when people understand that, hey, it's on your shoulders, you can dictate the outcome, I think that's really energizing for people. What makes people not participate is if people think their vote doesn't make a difference. Oh, what's my vote, or what's the vote of my community? It's not that serious. When people understand how important it is and how pivotal it is and the difference that it makes, then that helps energize them. But it's also up to us who are candidates. I was talking with some folks from the press here earlier. Oftentimes we as candidates haven't done what we need to do to go directly to the community. And not even in terms of courting, to go and answer the tough questions. I mean, it's one thing to go to court, vote for me for X, Y, or Z, but how about to go and listen? How about to go and say, just ask me whatever. I mean, I'm here because I see the power of this community. So what the Latino Leaders Council, I think, can do is hold up that mirror to the Latino community and say, you have such power in this state. You can determine the outcome of nearly every election in this state. And for those of us in office, we need to come to you, con respeto, a escuchar, and then talk juntos después de la elección sobre qué podemos hacer para resolver los problemas y los desafíos de la comunidad. And that's what this organization can become, and that's what poco a poco we're seeing in our state. I just think if you are interested in, democracy because of our history, Virginia's great. But if you're interested in the growing power of the Latino community in American politics, there would be no better place to be in the United States now than in nuestro estado. Entonces, thanks so much for what you're doing. Thanks for holding that mirror up and telling people about the power they have and making sure they're registered and informed so that they exercise that right in a good way. And I'm just honored to be un amigo. Caminando juntos cada día. Porque hay un gran marcha en el futuro, ¿verdad? Porque hay muchos desafíos, pero siempre estamos caminando, siempre estamos en marcha a progreso. And I just look forward to being on that march with you for a very long time. Thank you.
Tim, we have a little bit of a humble token of our appreciation. We really do believe you're an honorary Latino. We think of you as a great amigo. We know that we are well represented in the United States Senate. And please accept the Virginia Latino Leaders Council Award presents this special recognition to United States Senator Tim Kaine for his outstanding public service in representing all Virginians, especially his commitment to Latinos and immigrant communities in the state of Virginia, presented October 26, 2015. ¡Se puede! ¡Se puede! ¡Se puede!